folks, back in Dirty Harry, me Land Rover Defender 90 again, and we're going to do an improvement today on the original design. Not so much as a extension of the original design, an improvement. This is what holds the original fish in place. This bolts from the side of the fish tank onto the strip, and at the other end onto the strip on the base of the fish support. It's all one bolt fixings with these obtuse angle brackets. Now, from a set build, it's not bad. It's making good use of the parts you got left, but of course a lot of one bolt fixings. And when I opened the back door of the Land Rover a few minutes ago, one of the bolts fell out onto the floor, which I've got. There is a benefit to this. We're going to be relying on a one bolt fixing here and there with this, but there's in total 5 altogether. The 3 you see here and 1 at each end. One of them is going to come loose, maybe 2, maybe all of them. So that's got to change, but with a bit of luck it will mean we'll save 1 or 2 bolts for future use. So the idea is, not sure it's going to be this one, this colour, but we're going to use these larger angle brackets. We're going to use one of those, and the idea is to use one of those. If you're looking at the front of the fish tank, on the left hand side of the fish bracket we'll call it, and at the other end I'm going to have to move one of the bolts of many now, of course, with the shorter strips making up the rear lower section of the frame of the tank now, and there's all those bolts are holding those together. One gets in the way, so the idea is to remove one of them and use one of the few, I think, remaining longer bolts I've got left. I may save another standard bolt by using the longer bolt. I may have to use some spacers on that bolt, which I've got a few of, and washers and things. Now you can see we haven't got a nut on this bolt, purely because the bolt isn't long enough, even though we're using the longer bolts. However, it is secured against the other strip on the other side, the main frame of the tank, and because this is now through here, it's acting as a bit of a support pin, so this bolt shouldn't come loose, and all that holds the brackets for the fish and this main bracket against the back of the fish tank to give us a better support. There is a ever such a slight angle from here along this direction to here. This is not too bad. It's in some ways not helped by the fact that there's a lot of layered parts, so it's not too bad. It's only slightly out of alignment, and there is flex, as you can see with this stuff. There is some flex. Right folks, that's it for today. Quite simple, but a fair bit of trial and error getting it all to fit in. Because of the geometry, the bolts are really a bit too long, the standard bolts, so you get the threaded ends clashing in 90-degree corners, so I've had to swap some bolts around, as you've seen. You could also use spacers, but I'm trying to keep them just in case I need them for the future. It does make some of the joints look a bit untidy, with some showing the bolt heads and some showing the threads and some showing a mix of both, but not too bad. Got there in the end. A few trial and errors, as I say, so we got there in the end. Next up, we've got an addition to the inside of the tank again. It will look a little weird, but then again it does already, and that's part of the fun. It'll be partly sort of the right colour ish, maybe. But anyway, that's all part of the fun, so see you again in a bit.